Yo, what up? It's Aaron Moses. Gang, in this video, man, we're going to be talking about my experience going to Marathon Burger, as well as was Rodney Hinton right for doing what he did, man. Now, my birthday was 3/30/91, man. Shout out to me. I was supposed to go to Marathon Burger first for my birthday. The significance of that is Nip actually lost his life the day after my birthday. And again, this is one of my favorite rappers. When I got a whip, I was bumping Nip like every day. Every day. I put a lot of dudes from Atlanta on Nipsey Hussle. And when I was 28, turning 29, I believe, I passed out. I had a good time, and I woke up hung over. One of the worst hangovers I've ever had. And I heard that, bro had got something bad happened to him. And I didn't think too much of it because, I thought that the first thing that they were going to say was that he expired. But as soon as I ended up waking up, I went back on my phone, went back on my laptop, and that's when I found out the bad news. And the significance is, I was listening to him a lot when I was in that homeless shelter, bro, and I just had over 100 songs listening to him every day, and I was very hurt, bro, because I have been listening to him, ever since I was 18 at that point. So when I actually eventually moved out to Los Angeles, I knew I had to go to Marathon Burger. Now I've been respectfully, I have not been calling it Marathon Burger because the name just doesn't roll off the tongue as easily as I would like it. So if I end up saying something else, I don't really mean any disrespect at all. You know what I mean? But so the first thing I noticed, man, I was walking down Gardner with my son because we got off the Beverly bus and went to Melrose. The first thing that I heard, man, they were playing oldies. They were playing James Brown. They were playing Gladys Knight, Temptations. Just something that I understood is what bro would have wanted, right? As far as the environment and the music being played, because of course you go to Marathon Burger, I'm expecting to hear Nip, or I'm expecting to hear, some of his interviews or something like that, or some West Coast music. No, they were playing all black oldies, right? The second thing I noticed was this was a very smaller spot, so don't bring your whole family. And if you do, get their orders and keep them outside because the outside eating space was very, it was a good size. It was a good size. Third thing I noticed, bro, everybody that worked, this is like the second Homeboy Industries. Everybody that worked there had tats on their face and they looked like they had a lot of love for Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? So, order my burger. I had the smash burger, I had the fries, and I had the two things of cake, and then I got some extra fries for my son. It didn't take too long, even though we got there at like 2:30. It was pretty packed. They had some official looking security guards there that looked like they did not come there to play, which I appreciate that. It made me feel extra safe, especially me being with my 2 year old. And you could tell, I mean, of course, this is Melrose. This is like Hollywood, I believe. I'm not from Los Angeles, so you have to excuse me. But I could tell it was some important people walking through there and walking past there because I had people walking up on me saying hello to me that didn't even, but I knew they looked like somebody. You know what I mean? We do have to understand that at the same time, bro, I come from places that have some that are very well known for their food, man. We have Atlanta. Atlanta's known for the soul food and known for the barbecue. Chicago's known for everything: Chinese food, pizza, tacos. A lot of people don't know about the Chicago tacos, the Chicago hot dogs. So my experience with flavor and my experience with taste and certain types of food is a little bit different now. If you've never been to Los Angeles, I will have to tell you this, and this is no disrespect towards Los Angeles, but everything outside of Mexican food, and you have your little splashes of Chinese food, Japanese food, Asian food, is like elite, is the best that you can get in America. But outside of that, burgers, pizza, gyros, they're usually trash, bro. They're usually, you cannot compare LA pizza to Chicago pizza. That's just not wise. You can't compare LA soul food to Atlanta soul food. That just doesn't make sense. Of course, a lot of these people are very health conscious, so they don't want the food to taste too good because everybody doesn't have metabolism. Like, boy, what's up, man? So me saying I can't say that the smash burger was not delicious. My bad. Like I was saying, yeah, this is an act of senseless violence. You're doing something to somebody who didn't deserve it just because they were affiliated with that person. Now, that would be the equivalent of just because you did this to a police officer, some random white person, or somebody that was related to him doing something to another black person in a whole different state. You don't think this man has family, whoever this police officer was that got hit by a car? Now, the situation is this, you might not be familiar with the situation. A young man in Cincinnati, apparently he was armed. He had a firearm and he was, I don't know what happened before that, but he was running from a police officer and he had a firearm on him, but he wasn't being a threat. Now, at the end of the day, the police officer who actually shot the boy, lied and said that he had the firearm out and he aimed it towards him, which, according to the body cam footage that has been released, is contrary to the truth. That's not what happened. He was actually running from him, and he took the initiative to shoot that boy, and he shot. I don't know if he shot him in the back. Probably did. But at the end of the day, the next day, the victim's father ended up taking his motor vehicle and striking a random police officer that had nothing to do with it. He wasn't his partner. I don't even know if they knew each other. I don't even know if they worked for the same district or however they split it off from Cincinnati. I'm not from Cincinnati. What's going on, man? But he ended up, he ended up taking another police officer out that had nothing to do with the situation. I don't think he was present. I don't think they even, like I said, knew each other or they had any affiliation. No, I think that is absolutely unwise, number one. That's unjust, number two. And number three, bro, that's not something that's not something that's gonna contribute to your son's situation being avenged. Because like I said, when you do stuff like that, you're really giving a license to people who don't look like us to do anything to us. Because again, as like somebody else said, bro, as black people, we keep on forgetting that we are not the majority. We don't have the resources. We don't have the something so simple as the population to be able to defend ourselves from the people who don't look like us. There's nothing we could do to defend ourselves. Just because we have control over the culture with our music and with our dress and with our speech and things like that, and with the women that are affecting most of the females in the world, that doesn't mean that we're going to be able to win that war. Don't let these people put you in a position where we're doing things that are and conducive to the personal growth of us as a nation of black people. You have to understand that, yeah, you feel however you feel right now, but you could do something that you think is minor, or you could do something that you think is major. But ultimately, the decision that you make, if it's driven to that point, or if it's that big, and if it's making national news, things like that, there is a possibility that you could affect a lot of black people, if not all black people. And I'm not just talking to black people. I might be talking to rappers. I might be talking to, just like in Brazil, bro. I think it was Brazil or Colombia. When one rapper, I believe he ended up creating a movement where police were retaliating against rappers. Bro, he affected every rapper in Brazil, whether they were talking about whatever their message was, it affected every rapper. This man could do something to affect every black father, or every black mother, or every black child. And it might not, and the situation might not come from the police. Like, bro, you're putting you and your emotional. I understand. I don't understand because, fortunately, I've never lost a child before. But before I do anything rash, before I do anything emotional, I'm gonna understand that. Look, I might have gotten my day. I might have gotten my get back, but this could affect somebody random, just like how I affected somebody random, and that's not fair to the community. That's not fair to the culture, because I wanted to do something stupid. Somebody from across the world, somebody from across the planet, somebody from across town, somebody in a whole different state could be affected by a decision that it only took me 5 seconds to make. That's not cool. It's not fair. It's not manly. We have to look at the example of a man named Gorgeous Dre, aka Andre Taylor. Andre Taylor got his brother, which is, of course, still not his son, but his brother got assassinated by the police. Did he go and do anything crazy? Did he take any acts of violence? No. What he did was he meditated, he prayed, and he got the message, and he got the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to, you know what? Let's not start a riot. Let's not burn anything down. Let's not harm anybody physically. What we're going to do is we're going to change the law. We're going to bring the government to submission by showing them that they need to be held accountable. Not physically, not harm random people, because that's very idiotic. And Gorgeous Dre is a great speaker, very charismatic, very charming, very articulate. He knows what he's talking about, very knowledgeable. He hasn't gone to Yale, he hasn't gone to Harvard, he hasn't studied amongst doctors and lawyers. No. But what he has done was gotten a law changed. What he has done was, when he got that law changed, when he was very patient, when he raised the funds, when he understood what he needed to do, he got the president to call him. I don't know what they spoke about, but nigga, you can't even get a call from HR, and he got the, he got the HR of all HRs to call him on the phone. You get what I'm saying? So I don't want Rodney. What's the nigga's name? I don't want this dude's dad to be an example. He's not a great example. This is nigga activities. This is not black man activity. This is not how black men should respond. I don't think you should be applauding this man's activities because he harmed some random guy that had nothing to do with this situation. Because this could lead to a lot of deaths, and a lot of laws being changed, and a lot of things. I mean, them doing something physically to us, that's the least of your worries. Because when niggas do shit like this, you have to not worry about, oh, well, my son has to go to school, and I don't want any white man to hit my son with a car. Nigga, that's not what they do. They're gonna change laws. They're gonna make a big movement. They're gonna take away more freedoms because this one idiot decided to hit a police officer with his car. because you think that's the right thing, because that's so gangster, because that's what you heard in the music, nigga. But that's balmy. That's low class, my nigga. It might feel good right now for you to see that, but I wasn't. I don't think that's honorable, bro. Because when you do that, I'm gonna reiterate. When you do shit like that, you're putting other black people in danger. You're putting other Latinos in danger. You're putting everybody in danger. You're opening the door for bullshit laws to be passed. And niggas say, well, look at what this nigga did. Man, I don't even know this nigga. Wouldn't that be fair for you to be upset if they passed a law that affected you and you don't even know this nigga and this nigga killed somebody that he didn't even know, that wasn't even associated with the crime that was committed? That's dumb, bro. You gotta get out your nigga brain, bro. You gotta put on your black man pants or whatever color you may be. You can't be acting like this. That's not safe for the whole nation, bro. That's not safe for anybody at all. So every like that you make on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, every comment that you're leaving that's encouraging this and saying, well, he was a real nigga. I would have did the same thing. First of all, no, you wouldn't have did the same thing. Hopefully. And I know you wouldn't because that's not how most people respond and you're most people. And this nigga is a real nigga. He's a real nigga in a bad way. He's really why I don't want to be a nigga and I'd rather be a black man. I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. I don't support this. I don't want to hit people that, if anything, which I'm not saying this is right, but you didn't do the thing to the person who did it to you. You did it to some random stranger. That's dangerous for everybody. That's more dangerous than if you would have actually got your man, bro. You don't do shit like that. We have to do things organized, beautifully, and with structure, not just harming random people because they look like that. You know who did shit like that? The KKK, Nazis. The same people who oppressed you, you turned around and did the same thing against them. You don't think that there's gonna be extremists that want to that are gonna do the same thing to one of us? It might not be in America, nigga. It might be in Africa. It might be in Australia. You might have touched somebody so deeply with your stupid ass actions that it affects people all across the world, but you don't give a fuck because you're temporary little feelings. You're no better than your wife. You're no better than a baby. You never seen a baby get smacked by another baby and they turn around and smack another baby because that other baby was too big? That's what babies do. That's literally what babies do, my nigga. It's like hurt people, bro. That's the gate. You can't. That's not an excuse. Hurt people. Control yourself. Meditate. Clear it out. Heal. You can't just turn around and hit people with cars. I don't support that. I think if you do, you're an idiot. If you are applauding this man's actions, I'm ashamed to know you, bro. For real, for real. But what about the Carmelo? Bro, I don't endorse none of this nigga shit. It doesn't feel. I listen to the music so I can work out or I can get some money, but I'm not manifesting that in my life. I'm capitalizing off the nigga energy just like the enemy does. I'll say it like that. But no, I don't consider you a friend. I don't consider you family. I don't consider you wise or deep or gangster. Nigga, that's not how gangsters move. That's that's not. You just no. And with a car, you didn't even do it calculated to be able to get away with it. You were just acting like the bitch. You were just acting like a very good wife. You were acting like a hurt side bitch. Like, come on, bro. You think that's cool? You think I like that? You think I. No. Maybe if I was like 15 or something like that, when I used to wake up and watch the news and be happy that five black men got away with robbing a jewelry store. I don't think like that anymore. I'm embarrassed to see that. And they come up with these drawings, and I'm like, damn, these people look like people in my family. I know they're not. These people look like a couple of my favorite rappers. And they were driving away, and the last thing they said was, when it's up, it's stuck. Like, I don't want to. That's dumb, bro. To be honest, I'm not gonna say all of that, but no, I don't think that's cool. I'm not gonna applaud or like. I was hurt to see that this black man lost control and hit a police officer with a car. That had nothing to do with the situation. But if I'm not saying that if he would have got his man, if he would have hunted down the guy who actually allegedly shot his son, I'm not gonna say that I would have been more happy about that, even though I saw with my own eyes that he shot that dude with no reason. That little boy, he was 18, I believe. He wasn't 25. He's a little boy. He shot that YN really for no reason, for trying to run away. Now, if that was the situation, that would be significantly different. Although I wouldn't support that and I would not encourage that either. I'm just saying I would think a little bit different about it. I would feel the same. I would still be embarrassed. I would still be flabbergasted. I would still be just taken aback by the situation. But let's just not put ourselves out like that, because you're not the only fucking person. You're not the only black person in the world, number one. And what you do, pretend for 1 second, because what I'm about to say is true. Pretend, pretend for 1 second that you're not the only black person in the world, and what you do affects other black people, because it does, nigga. Stop acting dumb. Sit your stupid ass down. It's Aaron Moses. I'm the bang. You the bang. We the bang together, man. Life is in the breath. Breathe it in. Peace. Gang.